finished my cedar deck about 3 weeks ago, and the Zen garden as well this summer, and I have all these nice stone walls, and then you come to these concrete steps. There's a few stones in them, but they don't do it justice. So I had an idea to use the cedar wood that I had left over from the deck, so I put these posts in. I dug about, I don't know, 20 inches down, and another one there. You just buy those brackets at Lowe's, and then you stick it in the concrete. Then I'm going to put a piece of 4x4 in that slot. Then I'm going to build up from there. I did do a little jackhammering just to make it even, a few spots. And my advice to you, if you're going to be going over steps or bricks at your house on your front steps, back steps, whatever, I suggest build over it. Don't waste your time taking it up, because nobody's going to see it anyways. So the good news is that I didn't have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot. It's about $75 to rent a jackhammer. And I was getting sick of doing that. And I saw this jackhammer on Amazon. It's an extreme power jackhammer. It is pretty awesome. Put my first 4x4 post in, and what I decided to do was, instead of wasting a whole 2x4, I just cut a little piece of a 2x4 on both ends, and I wrapped it with this Vicor rubber wrap. You mostly put it in for windows and stuff when you're putting in a new window or door, but I've seen people put it on the top of their beams when they are building decks, and I decided to wrap the whole thing, and it will definitely outlast me, and the next owners of this house can enjoy it. Then I'm going to be putting another 4x4 post on top of that one to get it up high enough so I can run 2x4s across that way, so I can put the boards across for the cedar. Step 1 is complete. I've put all the boards on, and I used some Tapcon screws. Just bought a new Bosch hammer drill, and put some extra support screws in there into the concrete. That thing is an amazing thing. It only took less than a minute for each screw. I know it does look a little wonky, but the way the steps were, I had to jam some 2x4s in here and there for extra support so these wouldn't bow. And this is basically just for the top pieces. I did that extra piece now instead of doing it later. So when I do put the top piece on, like so, it's all going to line up and I don't have to do anything extra when I'm done. So that's that. And then I'm going to wrap everything else in Vicor and go to the next step. Got stage 2 complete. I'm going to work on the next set of stairs. Hopefully this will go a little bit faster. I think it takes more time to wrap each board with the Vicor stuff than it does to actually put it together, each section. So onward we go. So stage 4 is complete all the way to the top step. I just have to screw it in. And I was going to put some posts in on the corners for support, but I realized I didn't have to do that. I just going to put some Tapcon screws here on each one going right into the concrete, and they'll be attached here with regular screws, so that's going to take a lot of labor out of this project. And I can put the top pieces on. So that's what it looks like going down. I'm going to screw in the top now, and then I'm going to start putting the boards on. I'm almost done with my project, and my wife pointed out to me that this step was higher on one side by 1/4, going that way. The good news is, the way I built this thing is, with each individual little pedestal for each 2x4 going that way, it was really an easy fix. All I had to do was take off the boards and then trim these down, and I'm golden. Now if I put another 4x4 straight across, that definitely wouldn't have worked out to begin with, because the way the concrete is, everything's wonky all the way across. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're working with uneven surfaces, building a little pedestal for each one, and if something goes wrong, it's an easy fix. Stairs are complete. I know this first step is a little high, and when I first started building these stairs, I knew I would have to put another step in, and I was already incorporated into the framework already, so all I have to do is remove these two boards and bring them out to here, and that's pretty much it, and build the frame. And what I plan on doing is putting these rocks, lifting all these rocks up and put them into the frame that I'm building, leaving a little room for water to get through, and I'll put these little rocks in between like so. I think that would add a nice little touch. And I pretty much scribed every piece of wood to wrap around the rocks, and leaving a little room in case the earth does move. Did that all the way around. I wanted to make it look like a waterfall. I also put these river rocks up top. There's a video I have on YouTube. It's how to hide your deck screws. And I will show you how to hide your deck screws, like so. And you can see that little hole? That's where they are. I used a Greg deck jig. That's an awesome little jig to have. And that will hide all your screws. The only problem is the first board. You can't attach it with the jig because you will have a screw head showing right there, and there's nothing to attach it to because you have a facer plate on already. So there's no wood behind here if you were to drill a hole with the screw. So I have invented a clip system, and I will explain that in that video, how to hide your deck screws. So check it out if you have a free moment, and if you don't want any deck screws showing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.